Welcome to dinner time with Mrs. Nunn. This is a salad that I'm going to be making and serving in conjunction with some wine and cheese for dinner. We're having some cheese from Beecher's, which is one of our favorite places, and also some leftover sausage and some bread and stuff. But this is just for the salad parts. We can have some vegetables, and because I made this salad the other day, I really want to share it with you because I basically invented something wonderful. So I'm going to show you my process and a couple of the tricks that I use, and we'll go from there. So first I'm going to deal with the radicchio because radicchio is kind of, I'm not that familiar with it as an ingredient, and I like to get it done first. It needs to like dry and drain, and it also, we're trying to get some of the bitter flavor out of it. It is quite bitter, and that's kind of the point of the radicchio, but by salting it and letting it drain, I found that it can be a little bit nicer of an addition to the salad and not kind of overwhelm the other ingredients. So this is kind of a bigger radicchio, but not huge. I already peeled off some of the outer layers, but they're kind of floppy. It's from like our local soubrette. So I'm going to just put those aside because there's a lot of radicchio here. Put those in our composting. You should always try and compost if you can. I'm going to cut very thin slices. I kind of chose to slice in the direction, first of all, that the leaves are going like this. I sliced it like sideways like this because you want kind of an even distribution of the red and the white part of the radicchio leaf in each slice. Alright, I'll put that right in our composting because I'm not really going to use that much later on. Okay, so then I have behind me my salad spinner. This is a really cheap salad spinner from IKEA, but it works fine because salad spinners are a silly gadget anyway, but they're useful when it comes to something like this. So I'm going to put all the radicchio in here that I've already chopped. Some of it will escape through the sides, but that's fine, doesn't really matter. Then I'm going to rinse it in the sink, come back here and spin it. Alright, so I'm just kind of shaking the excess water out as I am at the sink, and then I'm transferring it over, sprinkling some water on the ground, but that's okay. Okay, so this is a cheap salad spinner, so I have to be careful with it. I have hurt myself before. And I'm going to transfer the radicchio into that. Rinse this out in a second so I can use it again for the lettuce. And then I'm going to actually salt this pretty generously so that it kind of, you know, maybe gets a little extra water out, but also just kind of like melds a little bit better with the radicchio. I'm going to put that over there. We are back with a clean cutting board. I have this much lettuce here. I also have a little bit here. Last time I used like a whole little head plus some of this one. I don't know if we're going to use, I think I might use it all because I'm serving 4 people. Before I cut up the second half, I'm going to actually spin this half, rinse and spin this half, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so I rinsed this batch of lettuce, the first half, first 2/3. I'm going to spin the life out of it. And then, so I've got myself into a little pickle in that I put salt on the radicchio and put it in this big bowl, but I don't want to get salt on my lettuce because lettuce will start to wilt. So I have 2 options here. I can either put this on top and just hope it doesn't wilt, which I don't want to do, but I think I'm going to have to get another bowl out, transfer the radicchio, and then put this in the big bowl so that so this does not get salted, whereas this is salted. Don't want it to wilt. Wilted lettuce is the worst thing. Okay. We have a lot of stuff in our cupboard. So, little bowl for the radicchio. Radicchio is not very much. It'll all fit in there, essentially. Great. I'm going to actually rinse this out because there might be some leftover salt on the bowl. I'm even going to dry it out because the whole point of this is to get the lettuce not as wet. So, lettuce dry-ish, not dripping too bad. Goes in there. It looks really good. And then we're going to do it again with the other half of the lettuce. So I don't even rinse it before because I'm just going to rinse it right after. And also on this one, the leaves are smaller, so you can see the whole bite is just like that. So you don't probably have to chop them in half as much. Some dark parts on this one. We can get that in a second. Okay, so I was just chopping the rest of this up roughly. I'm cutting it into about 1-inch pieces. And then I'm going to put everything else in the compost that we need to. Food for the worms. And then, ooh, floor slippery right there. Put that in my basket. And then I'm gonna rinse it out, dump it in with the rest of my lettuce, or spin it first, dump it in the rest of my lettuce, and go from there. Yeah, this was much less lettuce, you could see. All right, so I'm gonna catch it in there, spin it carefully, because this thing was like $4. Oh yeah, okay. Ooh. We got our lettuce getting dumped in there, so we have good distribution of light green and dark green pieces. All right, I'm gonna put some of this stuff in the sink and get cleaned up for my next section. I'm actually gonna switch gears and do the dressing now, so that can be done before we get all our toppings done. And so yeah, I'm gonna go to the dressing. This is a little gadget my mom gave me, which I let sit in my cabinet for like a year, but it's actually really useful for this kind of dressing. So it like has like a twist on lid, and it has all these measurements on the side, and then you go up and down and it moves the thing, and it's like a whiskey thing. So I think it's pretty cool. I'm gonna use it for that, so shout out to my mom. I'm using this hazelnut oil because I have it in my fridge from when I tried to be keto for like 3 weeks. And that was like 6 months ago. So, but I found that the hazelnut oil works really well in this vinaigrette. But you can definitely use canola or whatever you want, really. Olive would be a little strong, so I would go like, if you're gonna want to use olive oil, use like half canola, half olive, and maybe not extra virgin olive oil. So I'm going up to this little 50 milliliter line, or the 2 ounce line. So about a quarter cup, and I believe 2 ounces is a quarter cup, yeah. So a quarter cup of oil. Okay, a little shy on oil because I'm kind of scared of it. I also have my wonderful huge thing of California garlic from Costco, and this has made my life so much easier. Would highly recommend it. All right, I got a spoon over here. I'm just going to dip into it with a clean spoon, because you're not supposed to dip into anything like this with a dirty spoon, because it will put germs in there and they won't last as long. So this is about half a teaspoon of garlic, so probably like 2 heads of garlic, minced if you are doing it that way. So I'm going to put that garlic in there. You put garlic in everything. And I like to put things away as I go, so that's not a huge mess at the end. Putting this back in the fridge. Okay, so we got our olive oil and our hazelnut oil and our garlic. I'm going to add some salt. I'm going to add about half a teaspoon, which I can tell is that in my palm. Might add more, I just have to taste it. I'm going to add pepper as well. This pepper grinds very large, but it's very good pepper, so it's fine. You want it pretty peppery to compete with the radicchio and the lettuce and stuff. Okay, now this is something I always add to everything. It's Grey Poupon. This one is the stone ground country Dijon, but you can use whatever Dijon you have, but Dijon is very good. So I'm going to add about half a teaspoon of that. Maybe whole teaspoon. And then close that up. We got that. Okay, this is the weird stuff. This is weird, but I saw this on a recipe and it worked super well for me. Brown sugar in a vinaigrette seems like too sweet, but actually is not at all. So this is about 3 tablespoons. No, it's like 2 tablespoons. I'm going to add like half of it, maybe a little more than half of it, so about a tablespoon. See how sweet that is when we get done, because I'm actually adding a different sweet ingredient here, so I don't want to over sweeten this. So this is actually apple butter that I made, and we're going to put it in the vinaigrette as well. Last time I used cherry jam, so this will be different, but I'm actually putting an apple in the salad, so I think this will work really nicely. So there's my cute little spatula, got that in there. This is done. And then the best part of this is balsamic vinegar, which we are almost out of. I'm going to put, let's see, we're up to about the 4 ounce line here, so this is about a half cup of dressing. I'm going to put in like about a quarter cup, maybe a little less. I'm going to put in 1/8 of a cup. So that's 2 tablespoons. 2 tablespoons of balsamic. Put that right back on there. We need to go to Costco soon. And then I'm actually going to add like a tablespoon of warm water. Okay, so we got all that in there. We get a twist on our thingy bobber. And then this is the fun part. Lots of like weird gadgets today. Apple butter. It has pectin in it naturally from the apples, so it's going to be probably acted as kind of a thickener, which is great actually. It means you don't have to use any sort of thickener. All right, so this is pretty good. I'm going to stick a spoon in there and toast it because that's what I have to do. Ooh, the apple butter is really good in there. It needs more salt. It's pretty lemony, but I feel like, or it's pretty acidic, but I actually feel like it needs a little bit of lemon juice. I'm gonna add that lemon juice. I think a couple dashes. Oh, you know what I added last time that I forgot? I added a little bit of hot sauce, so I'm gonna add hot sauce as well. Actually, this might take care of 2 birds with 1 stone. I have this yuzu hot sauce, so I want to try adding that this time. See what happens. Yuzu is like a citrus. So I'll close this back up. Okay, let's try this again. That's perfect. It's literally perfect. Okay. Okay, so you may have noticed this piece of bread materialized, or this baguette rather. I forgot that I was going to make croutons for this. So we're going to, actually this is for our dinner. We're going to use this to eat the cheese with, that kind of stuff. But I'm actually going to cut off the ends because the ends are not particularly good for like toasting in the oven. To serve as crudité or whatever. So I'm going to cut this up into small little slices and then even smaller kind of like long skinny things. I think that that's a good shape. First, so that I can soak up all the good stuff, all that bread in there. Ta-da. I'm going to put a little tiny bit of olive oil in just for a hint of bitterness. All right, new spoon again for the garlic because I can't get enough of this stuff. About a teaspoon going in there. I'm also going to shake in a little bit of granulated garlic, because I'm a crazy person. A little bit of salt, because the butter was unsalted. This is for croutons, in case I didn't say that. And then I actually have some pesto, basil pesto left over. I'm going to add a little bit of that, because I think, why not? Not very much. It's kind of wet. And then, this is my favorite thing. This is ranch seasoning, which I had no idea existed until I got it from Costco. So, and then I'm going to shake it around, maybe stir it up because it seems like the butter's sticking. Okay, on to the next step. As you can see, there are less ingredients on our table now, so this is great. It means we're getting done. So this is the part that's, I think, unique to how I do this. I don't know, someone told me they've never seen anyone do this before. So I'm using dried figs in my salad. This is kind of weird, but this is what I do. So I have some oil in here, some canola oil, and I have my little pastry brush, or whatever you call it. And I'm gonna brush oil on the knife. Obviously be very careful with this. And you just need to really keep the oil to the lower part of the knife where the blade is. This actually keeps the fig from sticking to the knife. I didn't show you without the oil, but trust me, it sticks really bad and it gets really gunky and stuff. This will still get gunky, but it'll allow me to just kind of wipe it off really cleanly. Okay, so we got our croutons out of the oven. First I thought I burned them, but actually pretty good. This was only 10 minutes at 375. There are little dark spots on the edges, but that's probably from the herbs burning. Very good. I have to let the croutons cool because you don't want them to wilt the salad. Name of the game. So those are over there cooling on a plate, transfer them to a plate. Now we got to deal with our goat cheese. Goat cheese is wonderful, but it can be kind of a pain to like crumble apart. You just kind of gonna want to loosely slice it, I guess, and then it'll kind of crumble as you slice. Shout out to my friend Cal who suggested the goat cheese and fig combination the first time we made this. It turned out wonderful. These are a lot softer. It's going to make the salad really creamy and it's going to kind of distribute throughout the salad really well. We have fresh lettuce and the lettuce is always good around here. So we're going to put our lettuce in here and then we have our radicchio. So my hands are clean. I just washed them. I'm actually going to kind of squeeze the radicchio out a little bit, see if any water comes out. A little tiny bit, not much. And then sprinkle that in. Would highly recommend salting salads. I'm also going to add some pepper to this as well. So we're going to do. Okay, so we got that pretty evenly distributed. The good news is that you can see through this because it's a glass bowl. Let's start with the figs. We're going to want to get those mixed in pretty well. I'm also adding some sunflower seeds. It's kind of the seed I had on hand. I thought it made a nice little salty addition. We have the cooled down croutons. I'm gonna add those as well. Croutons are not necessary, but they were so good last time I made them that I kind of feel like I had to do it again. And then I'm gonna stir this actually before I put the goat cheese in and before I put the dressing in. Notice I'm not really getting it all the way to the bottom, but that's totally fine. I'd say if you make it and you toss it all together like this, you have about 15 minutes to start eating, because or else the salad's gonna wilt and you don't want that. And a wild cutting board appeared because I forgot to cut up the apple. There's also apple in this salad. I peel my apple first because this is from a apple farm that we went to and we don't know what's on it. So peeled it, and now I'm just cutting it up into really thin slices. All your apple pieces roughly the same size, not like I did there. And then we just take our salad, continue. I just put the dressing on it, put the apple in the salad. I'm gonna give it a taste, and then we're gonna serve it with our sausage and cheese spread for dinner. Let me get like a good bite. You got some goat cheese, you got some radicchio, you got maybe a crouton in there. All right, let's taste it. Oh my God. It's so good. The apple butter that's in the dressing coalesces with the apple butter, or the apples, and we just sliced up that we could not forget about. You got the figs and the balsamic together and the goat cheese. So there's kind of these like separate flavor pairings that together are really complementary as well. So you have pairings that then go into another pair. It's like a Noah's Ark of salads. Okay, so we have our spread here. This is what we're having for dinner tonight. We have our wonderful salad. We have a couple different sausages, some smoked almonds, some crostini that I put in the oven, and then we have our cheese. This is Beecher's cheese. This is wonderful. It's like a jerk cheese. And then we have some apple butter here, as well as some wheat thins. And yeah, I'm gonna serve my husband. Are you excited for dinner?
Yes, very excited. Thank you, honey.
Wonderful. All right, so we're gonna get this served. We're gonna eat some food and invite our other friends over and really enjoy it. So thank you so much for coming and visiting with us. And all right, honey, you gotta eat some salad. I know you don't love it, but you're gonna try it, okay?
Usually back in China, we talk about smell, we talk about taste, and then we're gonna see how it tastes on our tongue. So I'm gonna try it. Here we go.
Do you think it melds pretty well together?
It tastes great. I love it.
It's really nice though. You get the taste of the goat cheese, which is really creamy. You get the radicchio, which is a little bit bitter.
But not
it's
that.
really nice.
But not that strong.
Yeah, it's not very strong, right? It blends really well together.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to eat it. Enjoy this. Enjoy the fall time. Use what you can if you from your local farmer markets. I'm going to apple picking. Wonderful use of that. And yeah, we'll catch up with you soon. Thanks. Bye.
Bye bye.